Welcome students, welcome back to Srimata IAS and KAS Academy Vijaypura. Today we had brought one more new initiative from our institution, that is regarding the previous year prelims question paper. So discussion started from today. We are going to take from the year of 2010 till the 2022. We are going to look into how the previous year questions has arisen, and these are the basis for your preparation. So myself Vidya M, and we're going to start the lesson today. Before that, I would like to give a small introduction regarding how much the percentage of questions had came in the geography from previous years by chapter wise. If you look into, then the climatology parts is playing a major role here because it is carrying 36 percentage of marks out of 100% from the topic of geography, whereas the next major part is again by the world map locations, which is carrying more number of questions every year. This pictorial representation is from the year of 2010 till the 2019. It means compiling the 9 years together, we had seen that questions has almost came from the part of climatology along with the world map locations, and the oceanography together carries a more number of questions. You can see even the number of questions which has been arised. I have given a detailed table here where from you can see the climatology part has asked 22 questions. So divide them by the 9, you will get to know that number of questions will be nearby 2 to 3 questions as usually arised in the climatology part, and location plays a major role. Do practice the map of India, the physical features of India. Along with it, even do look into the maps of the world. For example, word map along with the political map plays a role here, and I had brought a small strategy how you need to prepare particularly for the prelims purpose. How to prepare for the prelims: start with the basics, because basics are the foundation for your UPSC journey. Foundation means which kind? That is whatever the conceptual clarity you need in the further, that basic foundation has been given in your basics of NCRTs itself. Now next coming to the conceptual clarity which I talked, next step you need to do is a diagram and a maps. Diagrams and a maps plays a major role. Every year there are questions which are coming oftenly in the UPSC prelims papers. It might be taking the Indian geography by map wise, or it might be the oceans part, or it might be the political maps, the neighboring countries, which has been asked in previous year itself. The Afghanistan nearby, which are covered by which all other countries. One example. So like this, every year based on the maps there are questions has been asked, so please practice the maps also. Look into the political map. Next, coming to the remembering the facts, because these facts are directly contributing for your marks, which are like direct marks, because you know that this content of the gases are present in the atmosphere, this kind of a locational features, like for example the rivers, their tributaries, Himalayan or mountain ranges, world mountain ranges. These are the facts which you need to know. Next is connecting all of this with the current affairs, which are going to help you for the prelims purpose. So this is a political map I had given. For example, you need to look into the oceanic part. Where are the straits present? Where are the again glaciers are located? Which kind of a vegetation is present? That is in your geographical map. That is, it is a physical map, that is a political map. So looking into the physical map, you will get to know where all are the desert lands are present, where all are the continents containing the hard land mass is present, green lands covered by the lush green covers, along with it your snow covered regions. These all are the regions. Along with it, where all the straits, river courses are joining to the oceanic part. All of the important topics regarding the maps you need to look into, and one help and a source for these all is your atlas map itself. Please look into the maps every day once at least. So let's start a discussion. I am taking the 2010 question paper as a part 1 of a discussion of previous year prelims question papers. So one question which has been arised in 2010 is, which one of the following can one come across if one travels through the Strait of Malacca? See, this is one example which I was talking regarding how you need to make a utilization of a maps. If you look into the maps, then only we'll get to know that different kind of straits are present. One strait they had taken because as near to the India itself, the country near one of the strait is Malacca Strait. So they had taken a question back in the year of 2010. All of the question I'm taking from the year of 2010 itself. So options they had provided as Bali, Brunei, Java, and Singapore as options. Now, looking at the map, if you see, then the Bali is located here in the region. Fine. This is a Bali where it is located. Coming to the Brunei region, this is your Brunei region. Next option they had provided as a Java. So here is your Java land which is provided. So they are asking regarding question is which one of the following one came across if one travels through the Strait of Malacca. First, which one you came across, it means first one, that is Bali, I had shown you. Java, which is located here. Brunei, which is located here. Now coming to the Singapore. And where is Strait of Malacca? This is your Strait of Malacca region. So if you come travel through the eastern part of India into the Strait of Malacca, then first country which you're going to witness is Singapore. This is how your map is going to help your preparation and increase the marks in the geographic section. So the right answer here is the Singapore. Next question. Which one of the following can be found in the ambient atmosphere? First, a soot, sulfur hexafluoride, water vapor. These are the three given options and they had given choose the correct answers using the code given below. So, is it is a soot or sulfur oxide or only water vapor? 2 and 3 they had provided as a sulfur hexafluoride and water vapor. Next is all of the three. What is soot? Soot is nothing but a unburnt, left out carbon, small particles in atmosphere. Fine. So this is what the soot is. This is continuously example for the soot is your industrial release of a burnt materials. Industrial release burnt material is example. Soot is nothing but the carbon which is not totally burnt out but left out with the small particles in the atmosphere, that we call it as soot. Usually there are industries which are giving a atmospheric disturbances, and this is one example. Yes, soot is a part of an ambient atmosphere. It means in the atmosphere there is definitely containing of soot is present. Fine. Next is sulfur hexafluoride. Sulfur hexafluoride is a one of the again greenhouse gas causing it is a not non-toxic element, means it is not so toxic, it is odorless, colorless, but it is a gas which is again present in the atmosphere in large manner. For example, CO2, take as example the carbon dioxide which is continuously released into the atmosphere. Even though it is released, the sulfur hexafluoride SH4 is also released in the atmosphere similarly. The difference between them is CO2, whenever releasing of CO2 takes a place, if it is a 75% of CO2 is present in an atmosphere and 25% is contribution of a sulfur hexafluoride in your atmosphere, but the causes, the greenhouse gas effects, means the global rise in the temperature is higher in the sulfur hexafluoride compared to your CO2. And what I said, the CO2 even presence means release of a carbon dioxide into the atmosphere is 75%. Release of a sulfur hexafluoride is 25%. The less percentage of a release of a sulfur hexafluoride still lead to more effective greenhouse gas, means leading to global warming, more to the atmosphere compared to your carbon dioxide. Right? So sulfur dioxide is harmful than the CO2. In the long run again, if you look into, then the sulfur hexafluoride is contributing more for the greenhouse gas effect. Right? Means warming up the global. Next is water vapor. If you studied the NCRTs, then you will definitely know that water vapor is always present wherever there is a humid situation is present. Humidity, or else you can say increased temperature, wherever more temperature is present. If the availability of a water is present nearby that region, then definitely the moisture content will be getting added to your atmosphere. And in the equatorial region, as it is temperate zone, due to that reason the content of the water vapor in the atmosphere is near to 4%, which is highest. Right? If you come to the polar regions, from the equatorial region to traveling to the polar regions, then the content will go on reducing. Almost in the dry climate, there is a less moisture content, very less number of moisture content, because again oceanic part, which is covering 71% of the water, again these 71 percentage of the water is covered with the continents, means all of the continents are surrounded by the water itself. It means wherever the polar regions, if you come to, then there also little bit of a very less moisture content will be there. Other than that, if you come to the mid latitude region, then there will be a go on reducing of the moisture content. Up to 1% of the moisture content will be present above the mid latitudes. Latitudinal wise, if you studied already the latitudes, then you will be able to understand how the percentage of the water vapor changes from equatorial region to the polar regions. Right? So sulfur hexafluoride is part of your atmosphere. Soot is definitely part of your atmosphere, and water vapor is also part of your atmosphere. Means which of the above options are correct? All of the above options are correct. This is what your answer is. Next, this is one of the table I had provided here. Permanent gases of the atmosphere. Means this is a structure how the nitrogen, oxygen and other gases are present in atmosphere, that is in the troposphere, and these numbers also do matters, and the source I had taken it from the NCERTs. Please go back and look into the NCERTs for this table. Do look into the how much of a percentage of a nitrogen or else neon, the percentage added in the atmosphere. These are the presence of the atmospheric gases, whereas other atmospheric gases which are causing for the global greenhouse gas emissions are your CO2. One we had explained, majorly the methane which is contributing to it, along with its sulfur hexafluoride, which one just now I had talked, right? Like this, there are a number of other gases too which are getting added to atmosphere, which are harmful for the atmosphere. These are not in large in the number. Please look into which all of the gases are contributing for greenhouse gas emissions, which are important for your preparations. Questions may arise in any manner. Do look into them. Now coming to next question. Which one of the following reflects back more sunlight as compared to other three? Means they had given a 4 options here, and they had told to choose one of the option which is reflecting the sunlight more compared to other three. Right? So how to attempt this question? It is very easy a question if you have studied properly the heat budget of the earth, the source heat budget of the earth, which provides you extensive knowledge regarding how the sunlight will be received at the earth's surface and how it is sent back to the atmosphere. So please go back and study the NCERT to look into how the heat budget of the earth works properly. So you will easily able to answer this question. The source, this is I am talking regarding, and coming to this question, how to attempt it. For example, the sunlight reflection according to heat budget usually takes a place wherever there is a snow is covered. Right? Snow is covered. Snow is of a white color. Usually if you don't know anything regarding this, then also you will be able to answer this question. You can eliminate some of the options by looking at the options, because the sandy desert, this is a large land. Usually deserts will be plain lands which are present. Fine. These sands usually receives the sunlight extensively, and after receiving these get warmer and warmer and warmer. The reflection compared to the snow is less due to the various features attached to it. because of the grains which are present in the sandy deserts will consume the sunlight, and reflection of a sunlight is left there compared to other things. Yes, of course, the warmness received on the earth will be reflected back totally 100%. Receiving of a sunlight 100%. Atmosphere terrestrial radiations ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ terrestrial radiation. This terrestrial radiation is nothing but when the sunlight is received on the earth, if it is reflected back from the earth, then we refer it as a terrestrial radiations. And these terrestrial radiation reflect the sunlight whatever received on the earth 100%. Right? So this is a basics. Whereas coming to this option, the paddy with the fresh snow they had provided along with one more fresh snow. If you look into anywhere which is having the white in the color, it means you need to take these options wherever there is a white comes first. Means lighter the color usually. What will happen if you wear the clothes which are lighter? They will usually reflect back. And if it is darker in a color, the clothes which you wear, it will usually consume, or absorption takes a place here. Absorption, sunlight of absorption takes a place. Taking as example as your dark blue color, which whenever you wear a dark blue color, that during that time you will feel so hot compared to the colors which are mixed with the lighter colors like white with the any other mixed colors, maybe orange which are light orange I'm talking with respect to, not the dark orange, or else the pink color. Like this, the color variation matters here for the solar radiations. And here the sandy deserts, after that they had asked for paddy with a fresh snow. C option, land covered with a fresh snow. Next, D option, they had covered as a prairie land. What is this prairie land? These are nothing but a steppes land. Steppes land means extensive cover of a extensively covered with the grass, covered with the large grasslands are present. Okay, so here that land we call it as prairies land, and this cannot be the option because of it is covered with the steppes, means large land mass is covered with some growth of vegetation. Whereas coming to sandy desert, it is less effective. Coming to paddy with the fresh snow and a land covered with the fresh snow. See, paddy with the fresh snow, paddy is again a rice. This rice is again color green. If green color, along with it, whenever paddy grows takes a place, there water will be usually stagnant. If water is stagnant, the solar radiations received here, it will also consume some amount of the solar radiations. Whereas coming to the green color, then again the consumption of solar radiations takes a place. Solar radiations. And for it is very easier to eliminate this option also. The reason behind is not because of the green, but instead all of the vegetations which is grown, these vegetations are grown due to the photosynthesis, which is very common. Photosynthesis means they can grow through the food called as solar radiations itself, right? So these solar radiations are food for them. That means paddy with a fresh snow cover cannot be the answer easily, as it will consume the solar radiations compared to the land covered with the fresh snow. Snow is white in color. Due to that reason, it will reflect back whatever the solar radiations received on the snow covered areas. So right option here is your option C. Coming to, this is again one of the table I had provided here, that reflecting back of the solar radiations is referred as albedos of the earth. Albedo effect is nothing but directly reflecting the solar radiations which are received on the surface of the earth. And direct reflection means from your glacier part, wherever the snow cover is covered, along with the clouds which are usually white. You all know that. So clouds and sunlight usually reflect directly whatever the solar radiations received on the earth. This is known as albedo of the earth. and this is covered in your NCRTs again. And this is a chart which is providing the information regarding how different kind of a material will reflect the solar radiations which are received on terrestrial part. Here I had provided one more picture here where you can see the forest cover vegetation is there. It means 10 to 20% of the solar radiations are sent back when they are received the solar radiations. Here is a receiving of a sunlight. This is a solar radiations, whereas here it is a terrestrial reflection back, means whatever the heat is received, it is reflected back, that is 10 to 20%. Here again, if you come back here, asphalt is one more option they had given. Asphalt is nothing but your tar region. Tar means the roads which were constructed by the tars. This is black in color usually and consume more solar radiations. Due to that reason, nearby the regions usually get warmer and warmer because consumption of the solar radiation is much higher here. Fine. And reflection back is very less compared to your snow covered areas or white color areas. Compared to other regions, the reflection is very less, the receiving is higher. You can see that 5 to 10% of the solar radiations will be sent back compared to the received sunlight. And coming to oceanic part, again oceanic part too gets the water. The darker, cooler 8 to 18% reflection takes a place, whereas receiving is higher always compared to the snow regions. Here reflection is directly contribution up to 80 to 85%. Can you see that a higher percentage of the solar radiations is directly sent back to the atmosphere? Okay? So it is a consumption. Even here also you can see that fresh snow which is covered, that is again reflecting back 80 to 90%, which is higher in above whole of the table. Right? You no need to remember all of the table, but please you need to look into some of the reflecting back albedo effect materials which you can use as a statistical supports. Otherwise, if there is a question in the future regarding what albedo effects, which material reflects max, if they may give you a names of the materials like asphalt I had given, or conifer forest, they can give these options and they can ask which is more reflecting, as one is asked in this question. Right? Similarly, there might be questions using different kind of examples. So please look into these tables. It is easily available as a source in the your Google. Make a use of a Google to look into this table also. And I had also given, you can note down also if you wish to. Coming to next question, that is question number 4. What causes a wind to deflect towards the left in the southern hemisphere? Okay. So this is regarding the atmospheric circulation of the winds. Atmospheric circulation of the wind. Looking at the options, option A is temperature, option B is magnetic field, option C is rotation and revolution, option D is pressure. All of these are acting on the winds which are traveling above the surface of the earth, which are traveling across the surface of the earth. And temperature do matters for circulation, magnetic field do matters, rotation and revolution and pressure, all of them matter, but there need to be a conceptual clarity to answer this kind of a questions. And if you studied the atmospheric circulation, then you will easily able to answer this question, because temperature, what will do, it will increase the temperature, warmness will be created. If warmness will be created, then what will happen, wind will always travel in vertical manner initially, vertical manner. Warmer the air, it will move in the vertical direction. After reaching some trap, then what will happen, deflection of a wind takes a place either in right direction or in the left direction. It is all based on your tropical, temperate and polar regions. Based on these, the winds will travel in a different directions. So winds usually rise above and start traveling in the left or right direction, as I said. While traveling, is it temperature one which can drag the wind from one region to another region? No. Usually temperature, what will happen, always there is a areas which were created. There is high pressure area and a low pressure area. Right? High pressure area means it is a cooler region. Fine, it is a cooler area. Low pressure air means it is always a warmer area, and wind will always travel from high pressure area to low pressure area. It cannot happen in a reverse manner. When the wind is traveling in the high pressure area to low pressure area, what will happen? The wind will travel in particular direction and it won't deflect due to the change in the temperature. Yes, of course, whenever there is a difference in the temperature causes, of course, there is a movement of the wind direction do takes a place changes, but deflection means it should move in the vertical towards the north. Instead, it will move in the western part. This is what the deflection of wind we talks regarding. Fine. This is a direction of the wind. Wind will usually rise above whenever it is warm, and it try to reach to the northern part of India, our northern hemisphere, or southern hemisphere. You can take as example. While traveling, what will happen? There is no any deflection of winds in any direction until there is a disturbance caused to this wind. It means some other force which is acting to not to travel to the south or north. Instead, it will try to move the wind towards the west, or it might be towards the even east. Fine, wherever the origin of that wind is present. Wind may originate from different reasons, and from that region it tries to travel towards the north or a west or a south or else the east. While it is moving towards the east, what will happen? Due to some other force, instead of reaching to the eastern part, it will deflect towards the north. Wind which need to be reached to the eastern, it will move to the northern direction. Fine. And it is not due to the temperature, because temperature will only cause a movement of the wind from high pressure area to low pressure area, not the deflection of the wind. Fine. Here they asked directly the deflect means deflecting towards, particularly they had asked left in southern hemisphere. Wind will always travel in the left in the southern hemisphere and right direction in the northern hemisphere. The wind deflection takes a place according to this movement of the winds. Fine. So temperature is not an option. Now coming to the magnetic field, no, not at all. Magnetic field do not contribute for any of the deflection of the wind movements. Fine. Next coming to the pressure. Pressure variations will again coming to the same point. Your high pressure area to low pressure. These are the pressure points. Is this pressures are reason behind the deflection of the winds? No, these are just creating a differences in the temperature, whatever available the differences in temperature, but they are not causing a deflection of the wind. Here the term you need to look into is a deflection. So now coming to the left out, one more option is rotation and revolution. Wind traveling on the surface of the earth. The earth is rotating from west to east. West to east, while rotating, even the winds are also blowing from west to east. Right? As earth is rotating from west to east, winds are also travels from west to east. While traveling, what will happen? Some deflection is caused in both the hemisphere, not only in north and south, but both the hemisphere we witness deflection of a winds from equatorial point. What will happen? In the southern hemisphere, wind will always blow in the left direction. Deflection of the winds will be in the left direction, whereas deflection of a winds in the northern hemisphere will be always be in the right direction. Why? What is the reason? Reason is your rotation and revolution, which is causing the impact of the winds which are traveling from one region to another region. If they are traveling from east to west, then there is a change of a moment of a winds takes a place. West to east also, the deflection takes a place based on which hemisphere it is located. Right? North or south hemisphere. Based on it, the wind will take left in the southern hemisphere, right in the northern hemisphere. Reason behind it is your Coriolis force. Coriolis force. This force is nothing but just now I had explained. The wind which is traveling from origin point towards the west instead of moving as, because here the high pressure area is created at the center and low pressure area is created in the western region. The wind will try to move from high pressure area to low pressure area. Instead of traveling from here, what will happen if it is in the southern hemisphere? Wind will always travel in the left direction, means wind will travel in this moment. And if it is in northern hemisphere, originating point, wind will travel in right direction in the northern hemisphere. This is what the causes for a deflection of the winds. Coriolis force is nothing but a deflection of a wind in a deflection of a wind in different direction. So here your right answer will be rotation and revolution. Both are causing for the deflection of the winds. Right? Coming to next question. A geographic region has the following distinct characteristics. 1. Warm and dry climates. 2. Mild and wet winters. 3. Evergreen oak trees are present. Which of the above features are distinct characteristics of which one of the following regions? They had given you the reasons. They had given a different kind of a climatic condition, climatology, which carries a more number of questions, 22 in the past 9 years together. So this is one example for it. So climatic conditions it is asking for. They had given a climate as a warm and a dry climate will be present there. Mild and a wet winters will be present, and along with it evergreen oak trees will be present. Whether it is a Mediterranean region, Eastern China, Central Asia or Atlantic coast of North America. There is a classification of world climate, and this classification has been given by world climate Köppens. So Köppens world climate it is referred as together. He had given a 5 classification of how the different climates are present across the world, and these are the reason behind the presence of any vegetation in that area, habitation in that area. Habitation include both animal and man-made or human presence might be present there. Habitation include both vegetation, deserts, snow-covered areas. Right? These are some of the features which are again segregated based on which type of a climate is present in that area. If this climate is present, then what type of a classification it is added into. You need to look into the detailed table which has been given by the Köppens itself. Here I have brought a table which is well prepared. Do look into this table that latitudinal wise variation takes a place in the vegetation. Altitudinal wise also there is change in the atmospheric condition. Both are together acting on the earth's surface to create different kind of vegetations, different kind of a relief features which are present on them. These all together resulted into some kind of a habitation in that area. Fine. So how the changes do occurs? If you look into the equatorial zone, there are 5 zones I had explained. One is equatorial zone. Here it is equatorial zone which exists between the 10 degrees Celsius, 0 degrees Celsius. Just a minute. 0 degrees Celsius to 10 degrees Celsius of latitude. It is a latitudinal segregation of the climates. Fine. So equatorial zone, next present a hot zone which lies between the 10 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius of zone of latitudes. Okay. Next is warm temperate zone which lies between the 32 to 45 degrees Celsius. Next is your cool temperate zone which is present at the 45 degrees Celsius to 65 degrees Celsius. Above that, if you move from 65 degrees Celsius, then there is a polar zone. These are the 5 zones which has been given by the Köppens, and based on these 5 zones there are different kind of a climates has been made, because these type of a climates has been found in between these latitudes itself. Right? If you look into the hot zone, then hot zone which lies between 10 to 30 degrees Celsius north and southern hemisphere both. Here I had taken a northern hemisphere, but this applies even for your southern hemisphere too. Right? So hot zone which is present between 10 to 30 degrees Celsius, that is hot deserts might be present in that area. Savanna and Sudan type of a climate. Sudan which is part of African continent where there is a large sandy deserts are present, right? So these deserts comes in the Sudan type and Savanna type of climate. Wherever these kind of a deserts or Savanna type of a climates are found, we refer them as a hot zone which lies between these latitudes. Next is climate monsoon type of climate. These three types of a climates together lies in the latitude of 10 to 30 degrees Celsius. Like that only, if you come to 30 to 45 degrees Celsius, 45 to 65 degrees Celsius, the climate zones varies from one to another. There is a NCRT source has been given. This is one of the table which is present even in your NCRT. You need to study properly regarding which climate zone has which latitudinal extension and which kind of a climate is present there. Along with it, what percentage of a rainfall occur in that region and what natural vegetations too are present in that area, which through you can solve this question easily. And students, this is the chart which is not to help you to only crack the prelims, but this is also helpful for you to write the answers in the mains too. So do not get overburdened with this many topics we need to cover in the prelims. No, these are the static portions which you need to cover in the NCRTs, and through the basic foundation clarity, conceptual clarity, you will be easily addressable to these kind of questions. This is a map which is providing different kind of regions. That is polar region which is shown with the blue color, which is covered most of the part with the glaciers, means snow covered regions. The deserts, if you look into it, is covered with the yellow color. The deserts along with mountainous regions which is again covered with a black color. So different colors has been given. These are the different 5 regions which has been segregated. If you come to the question, then if you know this static portion, then only you will be able to answer this question properly. Fine. So coming to the answer, your answer is A, Mediterranean climate, because this climate has a warm and a dry climate during the summer. Fine. Even though near to the Mediterranean Sea, the warmness and a dry climate will be there, because look into the latitudinal extension where it is located. Which latitudinal extension Mediterranean is located? It is located in between the degree Celsius of 30 to 45 degrees Celsius. It means the temperate zone, hot and equatorial zone, which is present between 0 to 30 degrees Celsius, it is not so warmer or hot to bring most of the rainfall or most of the sunlights will be deflected towards here in the Mediterranean region. Due to that reason, the warm and dry climates which are warmer. Next, the mild and wet winters during the winter season, and here rainfall will be, compared to other regions, rainfall will be less. Okay. Rainfall will be less, and again here the presence of evergreen oak trees you can see. This is again oak trees. If you come to, then evergreen oak trees are actually native to the Mediterranean Sea. These are native to Mediterranean Sea, not sea but Mediterranean region. What is this native? Means they had growth. Oak kind of trees can grow in the kind of a similar climates wherever present. Fine. Where all these Mediterranean climates are present, you can look into this map that western part of most of the countries, the Mediterranean climate has been found. For example, your North America, where the western part of that. Again coming to South America, this part here you can see Mediterranean climate. In South Africa, again southern tip Mediterranean climate is found. In the Australian southern tip, which is located here, also Mediterranean climate. Asian continent, where the Mediterranean climate, similar type of climate can be witnessed. So these all are some of the regions examples where all Mediterranean climates are present, and features I had provided where all the Mediterranean climate and how it will impact. These are warmer, dry climate, and rainfall will be very less. Right? complete one first part of discussion regarding the previous prelims questions on 2010 year. So please look into these all questions and do study very well for more updates and for more information regarding the topics. Please join to our channel Srimata IAS Academy. Subscribe to our channel. Along with it, comment in the section how you had felt regarding this session. We are coming up with all other previous year question papers in upcoming classes. Along with it, for the detailed knowledge, please become a student of Srimata IAS Academy, Vijaypura. Thank you.